Warriors, who some people will say are unbeatable. How do you craft your team to go play a team like Golden State and then come away with such a big win?
Well, we had a lot of things go well that game. Obviously, we played a very good pace. Our offense really was clicking for most of the game, and defensively, I thought it was one of our better games as far as maintaining a focus. Golden State's such a tough team to guard because they keep moving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's a threat. They're very unselfish, and they're going to score. But even after they scored, we didn't lose our focus defensively, and we forced some turnovers in the third quarter. I think they had 13 in the third quarter, which was a little bit of byproduct of some of their decisions, but also I thought our defense was had something to do with it as well. And we we kept our composure as well. We got off to a big lead. They cut it down to 4, and I think a lot of people thought, okay, that was our run, but we did a nice job in the third quarter maintaining our composure and keeping the pressure on them.
So it's Terry Stotts, head coach of the Portland TrailBlazers, with us here on Tiki and Tierney.
You know, Terry, because of all of the success that you're having as of late, as BT said, you're in the 6th spot right now in the Western Conference. Some people are throwing out Coach of the Year for you, and you're one of the best teachers in the game. You have a young kid like C.J. McCollum. What's the message to some of these guys?
Well, the message has been very consistent throughout this year. You know, we had a lot of young guys on the team. Other than Chris Kaman, everybody's I think younger than 26 or 27 years old. A lot of them are earlier in their career. So the message early on was about individual improvement and team improvement. And the priority this year was to give a lot of guys experience and put them in positions that they hadn't been in earlier in their career. Whether it's a guy like Al Farouk Amino and Ed Davis, who have had some time in this career, or young guys such as Mason Plumlee and C.J. McCollum and Alan Crabb and Mo Harkless and Myers Leonard. We had a lot of guys who were in their third or fourth year who were going to have a bigger opportunity than they had before, and you know the idea was for them to improve and grow into those roles.
You know, some of the players you just mentioned, McCullum being a Northeast kid, I saw him play at Lehigh. Mo Harkless was at St. John's, who I do a lot of work with. So these names aren't really foreign to me. What's interesting to me, though, Coach, here, and you you have a unique role where LaMarcus Aldridge decides, I'm going to go with the Spurs, takes the money. All right, things happen. You know, you got to still coach the team. So as a coach, you're probably saying to yourself, all right, I just lost a big-time star. However, when you step back from that and you look at the finances, and you probably say to yourself, well, for future success, we're set up nicely here, because I didn't even realize you guys are 29th in payroll next season with so little on the books. So with a backcourt that is obviously top-notch and maturing by the night, how do you convince a big free agent stud to come in and fortify what could be really good base for a long time in Portland?
Well, we'll worry about that this summer. Right now, we're worried about the Brooklyn Nets, but
yeah, it's right. Okay, Coach, you don't have to worry about it. Listen, take it from me. You do not have to. Who do you play after Brooklyn?
Yeah, we see them regularly.
Who's
up? And then we have Houston on.
All right, so start watching film on Houston. Harden can be tricky if he gets hot. Don't even worry about the Nets. You show up, you beat him. But go ahead.
But to answer your question, I thought Neil O'Shea did an outstanding job of having the franchise prepared either way. If LaMarcus chose to come back to Portland, we were prepared to take the team in one direction. If he chose to go someplace else, he was prepared to go in the direction that we eventually went in. And we've got a lot of young players who are in the same career arc as Damian Lillard. We've got a lot of cap space this year and next year. But the idea was to give these young guys an opportunity to grow and see what happened and see how the team evolved and see how the improvement with the young players, and then we would make decisions at the end of this season based on what happened this year. So
I got you.
Again, it was that's Neil. Neil's done an outstanding job last summer, and I'm very confident that no matter what happens this year, he'll have a plan going forward.
Terry, along those lines, there's always, well, not always, but sometimes there's two business models, and they don't always intersect. There's the business model that the team has, which usually, to be fair, is the better one than the fans, because, and I'm a fan. We all think we know everything here. We don't. And then there's the business model that the fans would like to see teams adhere to and subscribe to. can you explain? Can you verbalize the emotional swing from the moment that LaMarcus Aldridge signed with the Spurs to maybe a little despair to now, where I would imagine Portland Trailblazer fans are once again galvanized, knowing that there's some young, fertile talent and that it's not nearly as dark as they thought it may be?
Well, the thing with LaMarcus leaving, it was, certainly we knew it was a possibility. I think all the fans here and everybody, it's not like it came out of the blue. He was interviewing with other teams, and we knew it was a strong possibility that he could leave. So it's not like we were caught off guard by it. And again, I think the swiftness that Neil put into play, the next plan, gave everybody a lot of confidence, and the fans and everybody here knew what this season was going to be about. So it wasn't like it was just out of the blue. It was, I think, again, the fact that we had time to prepare for the eventuality that LaMarcus might leave, and the swiftness that Neil implemented his plan made for the transition to be pretty smooth and acceptable, and everybody understood what this season was going to be about, and accepted that, and kind of actually looked forward to it. I remember going back in September and October, how many Blazer fans would come up to me and say, "Hey, we're really looking forward to this season and seeing what the young guys can do," and everybody was on board about what this year was going to be about.
Good fans up there, no doubt. Terry Stotts, Blazers head coach, Tiki and Tierney.
Terry, you still close with George Karl? Because I want to get your thoughts on what's kind of going on or not going on or whatever's going on with him and with the Kings right now. We know you played for him early in your career, and you coached under him. When you look at that situation, is it fair to a coach to I don't want to say jerk him around, but that's kind of like what they're doing to him. What's your thought on that?
You're trying to get me in trouble.
No, because you're going to get fired. All right? No, you're not going to get fired. You're gone. Yeah, we don't like you. All right, no way, we're going to keep you here for a little bit. I mean, that's
it's been
tough.
a little unprofessional, coach.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's certainly from the outside looking in, it's been a unique situation to say the least, and I'm very reluctant to comment on other teams' situations because you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors in meeting rooms, the team dynamics. So, when coaches get fired, I think that's always difficult, and we know that's part of the profession. But I do know that coaching in this league is very difficult. There are a lot of dynamics involved. That being said, the things that I've read about that situation, it sounds very difficult. I know George is hopefully a Hall of Fame coach, and he's been in difficult situations before, and he's had an illustrious career. So, I wish the best for him and hope that things work out, because it's tough. It's tough coaching in this league, and there are a lot of dynamics that make it tough, and he's certainly dealing with a few of them there.
Yeah, nicely navigated. I think we all know that it's a clown
Thank
show. It is what it is, Terry. You got to know you got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, they don't know what they want to do, so it's tough on a coach.
Let me ask you this, Terry. If I ran 5 miles, which I haven't done and I probably will never do again, at least I haven't done it in a while, and I'm thirsty and I walk into a 7-Eleven and I'm looking for a sports drink to refuel, right? I got a couple of options, Gatorade, Powerade, whatever else is on the market. If I walk into the same store and I want to get a drink that has the ingredients on how to beat the Warriors, there's not many options. There's one with a Milwaukee logo. There's one with a Dallas logo, a Denver, a Detroit, and a Portland logo. So what is the perfect elixir? What are the ingredients? You just beat them, and I know we hit this on at the beginning, but how do you beat them? How do you beat Golden State?
Well, you have to play well. No matter the style of play that you have to play well and do what you do best and do it well that night. I think you have to have a consistent mental approach to the game because of how dynamic they are, how they can score. They get everybody's best shot. They don't flinch. They can be down by 10 or 15, knowing that they can put a run on you. So mentally, you really have to be strong. And, basketball X and O's wise, you have to do what you do best and do it well that night.
Terry, I look at this, and I mean, it's. I don't want to say it's an obvious answer. I appreciate what you say. I guess I'm looking for a little more in this sense. When I look at the Spurs, as great as they are, I can say, well, some of their prime players are a little old, maybe lack a little athleticism. I could look at the Cavaliers and say, Boy, they got a lot, but they don't really have that pure zone buster maybe from outside like all the championship teams do. I could look at OKC and say they don't really have that third guy, even though some people say Ibaka is. I'm not so sure that he is. What is the Warriors' weakness? Because I feel like to beat the Warriors, it's more about them playing poorly and a team playing that a team playing well. Do they truly have a discernible weakness? I don't see it.
I don't know that they do. In all honesty, they're very good at both ends of the court. They're very versatile. They can play big guys. They can play small guys. They can play inside out. They're very unselfish. I don't know that they have a weakness, as evidenced by their record. And to do, I think, for people to understand how difficult it is to win in this league every night, and for them to do what they've been doing to maintain the mental sharpness and the will to go out every night and give that effort and play the way they do every night is not easy. But I don't know that they have a weakness. They're they're defending world champs, and they're playing even better this year. So I really, from a purist standpoint, I love the way they play. I think it's great for basketball. I think it's great for young players to the skill level that they have. They have so many players that can dribble, pass, and shoot, and they're unselfish. To answer your question, no, they don't have a lot of weaknesses.
Hey, listen, come on. Don't you read the papers? Didn't you hear what Mark Jackson said? They're bad for basketball, Terry. Come on.
Yeah, I disagreed with that statement.
I think the whole free world did.
Yes. If you can drain threes from anywhere, you should drain threes from anywhere.
Well, like I said, I'm big on skill, and you look up and down their roster and how many playmakers and skilled players that they have at the various positions, and I think that's good for youth basketball. Just the fact that so many of the players can do so many things.
We're with you, Coach, and more specific to your team. Great run, man. Keep it up. Really impressive. A little bit, in our eyes, maybe some overachievement, maybe not in yours, but it's been fun. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, it's my pleasure, guys.
Take care.